All right, let's get right into it. We're exploring one of the biggest, most profound questions there is. What happens to us after we die? We're going to walk through a very specific, very detailed account of the soul's journey, a step-by-step map, really, from the moment of death into what comes next. It's a pretty fascinating perspective, so let's dive in.
But before we can follow that journey, we kind of have to figure out who, or, what, is actually doing the traveling. People have been debating this for centuries. Are the soul, the spirit, and the self all just different words for the same thing? Well, according to the viewpoint we're looking at today, the answer is a big, firm no. And getting that distinction is the key to understanding everything else.
So to really get a handle on this journey, we have to define the traveler first. The text we're pulling from gives us two really important concepts, the Ruh, which is the spirit, and the Nafs, which is the self. Trust me, knowing the difference here is going to be essential.
Okay, so the way this breaks down is pretty cool. Think of the Ruh as the pure, spiritual life force, kind of like the divine spark that animates your body. The Nafs, on the other hand, is the whole shebang. It's you, the complete conscious person, where your body, your spirit, and your mind are all working together as one. So, to put it simply, the Ruh gives you life, but the Nafs is the one who lives it. So let's move on to the moment it all kicks off, that transition from this world to the next. This single instant isn't described as some one-size-fits-all experience. No, it's a huge fork in the road, where the path forward splits, and it splits dramatically.
And here is the absolute crucial point. This journey isn't just random chance. According to this perspective, everything that's about to happen after death is a direct mirror image of the life you lived. Your actions, your beliefs, your character, that's what carves out the path ahead.
And that brings us right to the heart of this explainer, a tale of two souls. We're literally going to follow the journey of a righteous soul and a wicked soul as they leave the body and start to ascend. And as you're about to see, their experiences could not possibly be more different.
Okay, so for the righteous person, this moment is filled with total peace and honor. The source material describes these angels with faces as bright as the sun, coming down with perfumes from heaven. They basically form a welcoming party, sitting as far as the eye can see. The angel of death approaches them gently and says, "O pure and peaceful soul, it is time to exit."
This metaphor, it just perfectly captures the whole experience, doesn't it? It's all about ease and calm and a natural transition. There's no fight, no struggle, just a peaceful release from the physical body. Now, in stark contrast, the wicked soul is met with absolute terror. Gloomy, scary-looking angels surround them, and the angel of death doesn't come with a gentle invitation. No, it's a harsh command, calling the soul filthy and telling it to come out and face divine anger. The metaphor here is just incredibly visceral. Unlike that gentle flow of water, this describes a soul being forcibly ripped from the body, like it's snagged and torn away. The whole process is portrayed as just agonizingly painful. And as the souls ascend, the differences just keep piling up. The righteous soul gets honored at every single level of the heavens, called by the best names it had on earth. Doors just swing open for it. The wicked soul, though, it's met with total rejection. It's called by the worst names people use for it, and the doors of the heavens are slammed shut. Now, after that initial ascent, the journey is not over, not by a long shot. The soul, the Ruh, is actually returned to the body back in the grave, and there it faces its first real test, an interrogation by two angels. Every single soul, doesn't matter which path it took so far, gets asked these three fundamental questions. They might look straightforward, but the ability to answer them has nothing to do with memorization. So the righteous soul answers with perfect clarity and conviction. The wicked soul, on the other hand, just stammers in confusion. The source text says their reply, I don't know, which isn't just a lack of knowledge. It's this state of complete bewildered loss. And this is the key. You cannot cheat on this test. The source is crystal clear. The answers don't come from your brain or your memory. They come from your heart. They are a direct, honest reflection of your true beliefs and the life you actually lived. Your very being answers with the truth of your existence. Okay, so now we get to the final stage in the grave, and this is where the abstract idea of your deeds, all the good or bad stuff you did, takes on a real physical form. It becomes a literal companion for your soul. For the righteous soul, this being is described as unbelievably handsome, well-dressed, and it shows up bringing good news, offering comfort.
The soul, totally relieved, asks who this wonderful presence is.
The answer is just profound. This companion is the physical embodiment of all the good that person did in their life. Every act of kindness, every prayer, every bit of charity, it all came together to become this very real source of comfort.
Now, for the wicked soul, the experience is the complete and total opposite. A terrifying figure appears. It's hideous, it smells awful, and it just radiates misery. Its presence alone is a kind of torment. The horrified soul asks what it is.
And the horrifying truth comes out. This entity is the manifestation of their own evil actions. Every lie, every cruel act, every sin has now merged together to form this monstrous companion.
And this brings us to the final state of each soul as it waits for Judgment Day. The righteous soul is resting in a grave that's spacious and fragrant, with a portal showing them their home in paradise, and they can't wait for what's next. Meanwhile, the wicked soul is being crushed by its grave, forced to look at its fate in hell, desperately praying that day never, ever comes.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? The message woven through this entire journey is this powerful idea of cause and effect. The reality of the afterlife, from the very first second, isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you are actively building, for better or for worse, with every single choice you make right here, right now.
And that leaves us with one last really powerful question to think about. Based on this whole account, if your life's deeds were to show up in front of you today as a companion, would you be meeting a friend or would you be meeting a foe?